Hello everyone and welcome to this series of videos on the CakePHP Fixture Factories. In this video I'm going to show you how to create entities in your test database based on the factories. I am now back in the tests that we have created in the first video showing the drawbacks of the CakePHP fixtures, and I'm going to rewrite it now using the factories. So I'll bake my factories running the command bake fixture factory -f for force to forcing the overwriting, -a to bake factories for all my models, and -m being an option that will help baking a bit fatter factories, which include the factoring of associations. I'll show right after what this is. So let's bake that, and this should create in your folder tests a folder factory with the new factories. I'm going to modify a bit these factories according to my business logic. So for example, I'll start with the article factory, and in the method setDefaultTemplate I'm going to set a title for my articles using faker, and I'll just insert the text, the random text of the length 20. And we've seen also previously that the published field was required, so I'm going to set it to 1 per default. So when I create an article with the factories, it will be published. This can be of course overwritten on the fly. Now if I go to my authors, I'll do the same here. I'm going to give it a name field, which will be using faker, the first name, concatenated with the last name. It's not very good practice here. We should have actually 2 fields, but for that aim I'll just leave it as it is. And per default I'm going to say an author should have an address. So will call, when I create any author, the withAddress method, which is defined inside the factory, which has been created thanks to the -m option in the bake command, and it will just simply associate an address every time I create an author. If I look at the address factory here, I'm going to do the same. I think I have a street field. I'll just call it street name, and I will assign to it a city, which has also been baked automatically. And with city, if I look at my city factory, I will add a field name so that all my cities have a default name, which is again generated by faker. And last, every city should have a country. I'll just call with country per default, and the country factory should assign a name to that country, and we'll fake it. Alright, so this way the factories are tuned to my business model, and you'll see that it will intelligently populate the test database this way in a realistic manner. I'm going to go back to the test, the simple test, and I'm going to create a new test class, simple factory tests. And I'll get rid of fixtures, we don't need them anymore. And I'm going to create my article this time using the fixtures factories. The article is going to be article factory make. I'm going to create with an author, and I'm going to persist it so it gets saved in the database. If I was testing something where I don't have to persist, it's alright. I could do get entity and then it won't be persisted, but I still have my article with my authors. In that case, I want to persist it. And I get my list of authors here. If I want to get a John Doe back, the ID will be 1 here, because we start with every test with a fresh database, an empty database, empty tables. What I can do here is assign a name to the associated author, and I'll call it John Doe, and this hopefully should pass now. It does. So you see there's much less effort put into creating the article with the association. With the auto completions, you're very fast, and you can focus on the core of your test, which is retrieving the list of the authors and making sure that you get what you expected. Same will do if we want to have an article with 2 authors. What I'll do here, instead of giving it a name, I'll just put 2. No, sorry, I'll put parameters empty, and I'll create 2. And I'll get rid of that. I'll call this authors created. It's going to be article authors. And what I expect is authors, the first one. I should get the name, and the same here, authors, the second one, and I should get the name, ID being 1 and 2. So authors created, and the authors are the one that I have retrieved. Yeah. So if I run that, this passes as well. So as you see, the part about which concerns the creation of the data in the test database is very minimal. If you compare to the simple test, if we start having 2 authors, it's getting more. So it's this way you can really focus on what you're testing, making sure that what you expect matches what you have created. And you don't have surprises with IDs, because only what you see in your test and what you create on the fly is getting persisted in the test database. The rest of the database is simply empty. Right, I hope you see the point of the Fixture Factories. I'll come back with a second video with more complex examples, but this is it for me for the moment. Feel free to ask questions in the comments and like if you liked it. See you later.